buying gear when you're starting out. I have some good questions. I came in, so let's start. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nico. Today we're talking about buying gear when you're starting out. The idea of buying gear can be overwhelming sometimes, especially when you're starting out and your budget is small. Now, I made previous videos on starting up when you have a business and you're trying to grow a business and you want to do content online, and it's all about workflow and then buying gear in sequence by looking at it in terms of the mic you're going to buy, and then of course the lights, and then eventually getting to a camera with the right lens. In similar aspect, you want to do this if you're starting out fresh and you're just getting into content creation. So I'll leave that link below for that video. I'll be making more videos, so do subscribe. And the idea becomes very simple. What are you going to be doing? That's it. What is your interest? You first have to look at your interest and ask yourself, what will be my workflow based on that interest? There is no difference in doing something professionally for a business and you starting out. Why do I say this? Is because you're investing money into every piece of gear that you'll be purchasing. I made more videos about this kind of stuff, so I'll leave the links below. And they're definitely worthwhile watching. Why? Because they're going to put a different perspective into the mindset so that you can calm yourself down before you buy something that you waste money on that you're never going to use. Now, the aspect of what I'm getting at here is that the critical aspect is your budget. And it's the idea of where is your budget and how do we not go outside of the budget, because one day will come and you're going to want to purchase something that's over the budget, and then you've spent all the money and then you get to wait to buy something else that you really need. And this is where questions have come in, both from, parents and grandparents that are like, I want to buy my kid a camera, to people that are starting out. They've been doing photography or video for the last 3 years, and they're like, what camera should I buy now? I'm at this place. I will be creating a whole private group that I can get everybody in there to answer questions and be really upfront with them with my thoughts. So do hit subscribe. I'll be releasing information about that soon. Now, the idea is, let's see, what will we do if we were starting out? My nephew is starting a YouTube channel and he's going, well, what do I really need? And the idea becomes your phone. Start doing video with your phone. Start looking at video with your phone. And let's look at mics. And he's starting to make YouTube videos with his new mic, and he's sounding much crispier, and he's starting to edit. So he's building his workflow and he's starting to see what he can do with the video. Now, if you're looking at starting out and you don't know what you want to be doing, go out with your phone, start taking pictures, learn how to use the phone in manual mode. Start to look at what angles are you doing? How close are you? How far are you? What type of imagery are you trying to get? And then look at your video and see, what are you doing with your video? What is a good aspect of what you want to be doing so you understand it? And then we can look at subsets, and then we can say, okay, now we can start looking at what can we purchase. What I usually recommend when somebody's starting is to buy used. Buy something that's used. If you're just doing photography, any camera will work, and something like a T7i here that I have, this one right here, this T7i is a great camera. Still works. I can still take pictures with it. Nobody knows the difference. It's great. Okay. Can I use it for video? It only does 1080p. Can you use it? Yeah. Is it the best? No. But I can start with this. And the goal would be that I'm going to buy used equipment that's going to make sense so I can start to learn to see what I really need. If you go buy something like this, where the R6 here in Canada was $3,000, this lens, a 24-70, was $3,000. That's a lot of money. And you don't even know what direction you want to go in yet. Okay? Very simple. Buy a used camera. Buy something that's a little bit older. And then focus on buying stuff like lenses. You need lenses. So this is a nifty 50. It is my favorite lens. It is a great lens. I bring it everywhere with me. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what could occur. Having this in your back pocket, you're good to go. Easy. Now, even when you pick up the Canon R or any RF line, I picked up the next lens of this. It's the RF version. Honestly, no customer has ever been like, which lens are you using? Why isn't there more bokeh there? Okay. And we start to develop in that way. You get the 35 millimeter here. This is great. And I got to tell you, this 35 millimeter is an awesome lens. Now, do I use it as much as I used to? Well, no, because along the line, I picked up this 85 millimeter, and I've been doing most of my product photography on this because this can actually do macro. And it's awesome. It's a great lens. And these lenses are way cheaper than going and buying these expensive ones. And now that these are coming on the market in the used market, oh man, so you could pick up a Canon R instead of buying something that is a DSLR and start using that for your photography and of course your video. And you start to learn from that. And as you get going, you will realize here's my workflow. And then people will be like, hey, can you take pictures of this? Can you take pictures of that? And you start to build in the direction that you need to build. There is no point to go buying new, is what I'm getting at. If you're looking at getting into content creation and you're seeing your big favorite, Peter McKinnons of the world, and you're going, I want to be like that, but they're using these super expensive cameras now. Well, yeah, but they all started somewhere as well. And I can tell you this, they were making money with less equipment, less pricey equipment, and that's how they developed. So if you're watching this and you're going to yourself, I really need that lens to do something, take a step back and say, how often are you going to be using it? A. B, is that the direction you're going to be taking? C, can I rent it or find it used? Can I borrow it or find it used? I have found many things used. I have a 70 to 200 that is used. I bought it used. It's great. I have other lenses that are super old. This big guy, 100 to 400, okay? And this thing is a Sigma. I throw it on my camera and I go and I do certain shoots that I want to do, both personal and I've done two that are professional with that. And does a job. Is it the best? No. Can I go get the 100 or 400 or 500 from Canon, the RF one? I can. Do I want to spend the money? I'm not using it enough. So why? And again, this is where you look at it and you go, well, the 70 to 200, that's the lens I want. I'm looking at and going, you know what? I'm going to probably buy that because I've been using it on shoots and it's been great. Now, the 24 to 70 has been my go-to, but sometimes I need that extra reach. And sometimes I'm looking at that bokeh that comes out of the rent. We've rented the lens a couple times and I'm like, spectacular. And I've been using it. So the idea becomes, will my budget allow it? Well, if I can grow my budget and focus on growing my budget, eventually it will. So my goal here is for everybody watching this is to take a step back and say to yourself, what do I really want to do? That should be firm before I start spending money. Okay? Why? Because then it won't be spending money if you figure out what you really want to do. It'll be an investment because you're going to start making money and you get smaller gigs. If you really want to do weddings, go out and work with people who are in the industry that need help. Start to learn. Play around with their lenses. If you're working with, portrait photographers, same thing. Go get a job with them. Work with them. Volunteer your time. Be like, I want to learn more. And then if I get good, you pay me. You start to build on that. Once you do that, you'll start to put things into perspective of what you really need so you can buy your own gear new. But you don't really need new. A Canon R can take you a long way. Simple. Is it the best? God, no. There are better. Yes, this R6 is way better. Yes, the R5, 10 times better. I get it. But you don't need it. I still use it for stuff where people are using other cameras and it's fine. I'll go out and they're like, are you sure you're going to be able to take that video or that photograph? Is it, don't stress it. We'll get it done. Why? Because it's getting it done. And if I really need something else, I'm going to go rent it. So for instance, the R5C, if I really need it, I'm going to go rent it. That's it. If I see myself using it more and more because I can't shoot long form on the Canon R5 in HQ, more than an hour or whatever it is, then I'm going to go rent it. And if I keep using it and renting it, then I know, hey, my budget's going up because I'm making money. And instead of renting it, guess what? I will be able to start to accumulate and increase that budget and buy it. That's it. I'll be making a more in-depth video on this idea for people who are growing right now because I've had a lot of those questions. And I encourage you to go through those previous videos that I'll link below. I encourage you to subscribe and I encourage you to look at this idea of business aspect of things so that you can increase your talent, so that you can increase your business, so that you can buy the things you want to buy in order to keep moving up and getting those opportunities that you're looking for. My name is Nikos. Check out the videos below. check out these videos up top. And of course, subscribe.